Wadi Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the Wadi Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rakakutash, Brakathum. Peace and blessing, the whole flat, 144 and the rest of 1/3. You know what I'm saying? And all my apostles, bishops, and elders, Malaki Muel, and GMS, Shalom, Shalom. Peace and blessing, the whole flat. That's right. To all the Arkwaf, Speckled Bird. Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai. Abal, Hahushai Nawa, Mayan Ride. That's right. You know what I'm saying? You're going to pay for everything, devil. You're done. You are completely done. You hear me, devil? You're done. For all the crap you have done, you're done.
They hung her by her feet from a tree. After beating her, they set her on fire. And she was pregnant, so they cut her stomach open. And when the baby fell, the unborn baby fell, they stomped on it.
You hear that?
They stomped on it, open. They hung her by her feet from a tree. After beating her, they set her on fire. And she was pregnant, so they cut her stomach open. And when the baby fell, the unborn baby fell, they stomped on it. They stomped on it. Then they riddled her body with 60 bullets. After all that, they left her there to die. Her name was Mary Turner. Then they riddled her body with 60 bullets. After all that, they left her there to die, and her name is Mary Turner. And when the baby fell, the unborn baby fell, they stomped on it. They stomped on it. Then they riddled her body with 60 bullets. After all that, they left her there to die, and her name is Mary Turner. She was a 21-year-old black woman, married to Hayes Turner. And the reason this happened to her is because a white plantation owner who was known for brutalizing his slaves, this is 1918, by the way. Slavery was supposed to be emancipated in 1865. But anyway, a white slave owner was killed by his enslaved Africans for being brutal. When word got out that he had died, a large mob of white men and women went around killing 13 black women and children and men all over Valdosta, Georgia. Hayes Turner, who was Mary's husband, had nothing to do with the killing of Mr. Smith, but the mob lynched him anyway. One of the 13 victims was riddled with 120 bullets while hanging from a tree. Now, like I said, Mary's husband, Hayes Turner, was lynched. Mary found out about this, and she knew the names of everyone that was involved, and she decided to expose it and tell the world, hey, my husband and these 13 victims need justice. The mob did not like that at all. And if you don't know, it's 1918, you know that the white community would have done tremendously worse for less, so imagine how they felt when they were exposed. That is when they dragged her to the middle of Valdosta, Georgia, to Little River, beat her, strung her up by her feet upside down, set her on fire, cut her stomach open, stomped on her baby, and shot her over 60 times. She was 21 years old. I'm 25. My little sister's 21.
This is the spot of the lynching of Mary Turner. In southern Georgia during the early spring, on the evening of May 16, 1918, a white plantation owner by the name of Hampton Smith was found murdered by the age of 25. Smith was known for abusing and beating his workers, and for bailing people out of jail, and having them work off their debt in his fields. Immediately drawing an angry crowd, the plantation workers of Hampton's property, also known as Old Joy's Place, were targeted at once. Within the list of 13 suspects was a man named Hayes Turner. Born in 1892, Hayes Turner was a 19-year-old farm laborer who was married to a young woman named Mary Hattie Graham. Taking her married name of Turner, Mary was 8 months pregnant at the time of Hampton Smith's killing, and the couple knew all too well about the dangers they now face for simply being black. Within just 3 days of Smith's untimely death, Hayes Turner was one of many who were captured by police and arrested as a suspect. Little did Turner know that a plantation worker named Sidney Johnson was already being looked at as the main suspect, not Turner. Johnson, a black man working to pay a legal fee for rolling dice, confessed to killing Mr. Smith during a quarrel about being overworked. Police officers killed Mr. Johnson in a shootout. Hayes Turner was questioned and kept in county jail for further investigation. That was until the sheriff decided Turner might be more safe from the town's angry mob if he was taken to a neighboring city and held in custody there. County Sheriff Wade, who was accompanied by a court clerk, removed Hayes from his cell and headed toward the town of Quitman. Hayes never made it. At some point, Sheriff Wade stopped the vehicle en route as a mob of 40 white men blocked the road. They snatched the prisoner out of the vehicle and handcuffed Turner was led into the woods where he was hung by the neck in a tree. His body was left hanging from the tree over the weekend and not cut down until Monday. When it was finally cut down and his corpse was buried no more than 50 feet from the tree where he was murdered. Already distraught over the arrest of her husband while she was pregnant and close to her delivery date, Hayes Turner's wife Mary was traumatized the following day when she heard her husband had been lynched. Without a doubt, Mary knew that the persons responsible hid their acts behind the shine of a sheriff's badge, and in her despair, 19-year-old and 8 months pregnant Turner publicly denied that her husband had anything to do with the murder of Hampton Smith. She demanded that those responsible for her 19-year-old husband's brutal murder be charged with that crime. She denied that her husband had been involved in Smith's killing and threatened to have members of the mob arrested. Enraged by this, the mob turned against her, determined to teach her a lesson. Although she fled, Mary Turner was captured at noon on May 19th, one day after the lynching of her husband. The crowd showed no mercy as they put their deranged plan into action. First, the crowd of white mobsters took her to the bank in Brooks County near Folsom Bridge. A tree hung just over the water on the banks, and that's where they decided to throw their rope. Mary Turner was tied and hung upside down by the ankles, her clothes soaked with gasoline, and burned from her body. Her belly was slit open with a knife like those used in splitting hogs. Her unborn babe fell to the ground and gave 2 feeble cries. Its head was crushed by a member of the mob with his heel, and the crowd shot hundreds of bullets into Turner's body. Mary Turner was cut down and buried with her child near the tree, with a whiskey bottle marking the grave. Although local officials were given the names of instigators and 15 specific participants, no one was ever charged or convicted of the murders. A historical marker memorializing Turner was placed near the lynching site and dedicated on May 15, 2010.
You're done, devil. You're done. Everything you have done. Everything you have done, devil. You're done. Ball. Get ready, because recompense is on you right now.